before a purple hand reaches for him. The goddess, meanwhile, begins to enact her plan as about a quarter of the Earth's population suddenly stops and seems to have a feeling of elation come over them. But more importantly, here's where we make things a lot easier for me and why this episode won't be as long as last time. A bunch of superheroes get a visit from the goddess in a big multi-page montage. Only the superheroes she visits can see her, and there are quite a few. They're all ones with strong spiritual religious connections. Some obvious, like Storm, Daredevil, and Archangel. But then we have a few you wouldn't necessarily expect, like Spider-Man, or Susan Storm, wearing an outfit even worse than the Malice one, because at least that was goofy dominatrix gear that could still
Hey, Liam Early, what's up?
Whereas this is an unnecessarily skimpy outfit with both an exposed stomach and a 4-shaped boob hole.
There. Sure glad I don't look stupid in this.
She speaks to these heroes with a pitch about ending evil, making existence less unfair.
Hey, Cave Witch, what is up?
Suffering, and why she chooses specific ones. Like I said, there are too many to list, but this includes Captain America, Spidey...
You have a song suggestion.
Scarlet Witch, and from the Infinity Watch, Gamora...
Maybe.
Pretty sure we've talked about this before, but Moondragon is a powerful telepath who can also transform into a dragon, and once upon a time went by the name Madam McEvil. A name that, as far as I know, was not intended
Feeling drained from last week?
Purposes. Reach out
Well, get ready for Thanksgiving.
Embrace the beauty that is righteous. Pledge yourself to the greater
good
of the heavens. Hey, I found the
Even Ryle.
new channel introduction video. Join me in the Infinity Crusade, the ultimate battle against evil. Beginning our European tour later this summer. Dates to be announced.
Hey,
All
Chrome.
the heroes we saw pledged themselves to her and indeed reach out, though they decided to artistically just have her floating head in the center instead of
Yeah, there was a stream earlier today.
body from the previous page, so instead of
I just felt like getting on early in the morning.
Did you learn to fly? The heroes all vanished through portals, to the shock and confusion of any other heroes around them. Pip the Troll goes to tell Adam Warlock about this, but finds his room saved for the viewing globe missing. Vision soon coordinates things among the heroic population as they converge on Avengers Mansion. Though minus Reed Richards, who is teleported away by an unseen force, simply saying he's needed. With all the heroes they could find gathered, Vision shares his theory that those who were taken held deeply moral stances, held strong spiritual beliefs, or after-death experiences.
Alan Thieler, how you doing?
You have to be very religious. The Hulk, still having Bruce Banner's mind, points out that it wasn't too long ago that Thanos made so many people vanish, but of course nobody is eager to confront old Raisin Chin again. Mind you, the last time you guys saw him, you were teaming up with him against the Magus, so why would you think he's the one responsible anyway? We end out the first issue with the goddess forming a new planet on the other side of the solar system, using her power...
Yeah, sorry, Liam. You know, my therapist was sick, so I didn't get the chance to see her. That sucks. That sucks. My thing was I'm one of those guys that has to keep all his appointments like, how was the nap? It was fine. Trying to challenge emotional core beliefs, but I did see her today. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, Jesus. I really should have shaved. I keep forgetting facial hair grows, right? You know, I forget a lot of things.
To create new life. Transport the heroes she's assembled to the
What kind of core beliefs are you talking about? Are you talking about like the kind of like, oh, I'm worthless, I'm never going to get anywhere in life kind of beliefs? Or are we talking more religious? Let's see. O'Reilly says, I had a decent day making a conservative Christians uncomfortable. Oh, what did you do? The first one. Yeah, those are tough. Those first core beliefs of like worthlessness and shit, those are tough to deal with. You know, because they partially make up who you are, and they change slowly. So, how did you make conservative Christians uncomfortable? R.
Rise up out of the ground. Welcome, my children, to Paradise Omega. Prepare for the Holy Timeshare presentation before you begin enjoying yourselves. We open issue 2 with the goddess in front of a wall that has religious symbols on them overlapping. Only these 11 religions are permitted here. Screw all the other faiths on Earth and in the universe. Also, Christianity is on there twice. What? Like, are we separating Protestantism and Catholicism or something? Why the two different crosses? The inside of the cathedral, as she explains, is also full of advanced technology. Within these walls rest all that we require to accomplish our holy mission. I present thee with the most advanced in communications equipment to spread the good word. Begin the 24-hour VeggieTales marathon broadcast.
Oh God, that'd be horrible. A 24-hour VeggieTales. Oh my God. Not as excited as I make it out to be, other than dressing up as a Pokemon character for a day when the person was known to share fear-mongering videos on how Pokemon is evil. Oh, is this like... Is this like another teacher or a parent that does this? Or is it one of those like outside consultants that comes in and gives a presentation about horse shit? You know, Pokemon is evil. They're actually demons. Kinda. No. We don't really count those. You know, oh no, what am I saying? No, Pokemon is absolutely evil. It is absolutely a tool of the devil to keep your kids addicted to their handheld devices rather than doing good Christian work. Yes, the devil wins yet again. Yes, soon your children will get D's and start smoking. You know, like how much worse can it get? Co-teacher. Oh, geez. I immediately learned, and Liam says I immediately learned to hold on to negative things that happened to me and has been told to me, and I internalize it. Well, yeah. That is that the human mind does that. The human mind does that. I think everyone does that, really. You know. Hey, Colin Jensen. I remember Kidwood says, I remember having to deal with my Baptist daycare saying that Harry Potter promotes witchcraft. Kinda, you know. Yeah, pop culture media isn't bad for the reasons he thinks. Thank you for the donation, Riggs. Ask a Christian how many heathens they've slain. Good gravy. Good gravy. I understand, like, how so many just I I've dealt with so many conservative Christians in schooling. It's ridiculous. You know, it is true that they live in an alternate reality where like the devil is trying personally to tempt them. And I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe. Seems kind of ridiculous. You take medication and I think I should have other things. Well, I mean, medication is there to stabilize your mood, but if it's not like help get you where you need to go, then like you need maybe a different medication. Then again, I don't know what you've been through. There might be a whole bunch of shit going on this is probably a whole bunch of shit going on I don't know about. I just want a seamless line through my jeans. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but good luck with that, whatever it is. From what I hear, they want the Satanic Panic back. Oh, yeah, they totally want the Satanic Panic back because for them, it never leaves. For them, it never leaves. It's this weird, ever present. Oh my God, we gotta save the world, which is why I'm like kind of against the idea of saving the world. I'm into saving people, into saving people and animals and the environment, generally in that order. Because I feel like if you're trying to save the world, you're trying to save your concept of the world, and that's just not as useful. There's strong addictive tendencies to pass this on psychologically. Well, yeah, and biologically, Yeah, I don't have a lot of addictive tendencies, so I don't know what to say. I have no real experience with that except from the outside. I mean, I'm addicted to tobacco, but that's kind of different. Like, that's different even from like alcoholism. What I meant to say is I am a goof. Oh, well, there you go. Um, Still trying to figure out that seamless line through my jeans line. Not sure what that means, but good luck with that. Sorry for your tangents. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Despite this presumably being the first time she's giving this spiel, half these characters aren't listening to her, and then we've got Jean Grey already doom scrolling on Twitter up there. She also says there are teleportation banks that can bring them anywhere in the universe for this task, Moondragon asking how they can serve her. Back on Earth at Avengers Mansion, since they can't locate...
Whoa, wait a minute.
Also says there are teleportation banks that can bring them anywhere in the universe for this task, Moondragon asking how they can serve her. Back on Earth at Avengers...
Why is She-Hulk and this random woman bringing in little wet towels? Oh, well.
Mansion, since they can't locate Thanos, the Hulk wonders if somehow the Infinity Watch is involved. And indeed they are, as it turns out they were the ones to take Reed Richards for the purpose of a tie-in issue and arrive at the HQ. Unfortunately, the Thing, who's wearing a helmet because of character stuff going on in the Fantastic Four books at the time, assumes that they're the villains because of this and tries to attack, and Drax slamming him down causes a brief scuffle between the two groups. Reed Richards tells them to knock it off. Let Drax introduce you to his other pals. This is my buddy, the Bulk. That's the Hulk. No, I'm pretty sure you're the Bulk. You're purple and really bad CGI, right? There are also some other brief interactions, including how Maxim somehow recognizes Vision despite his amnesia, plus how Pip the Troll had stolen an Avengers Quinjet and the Fantasticar over in the Infinity Watch comic, but that's neither here nor there. In the meantime, another noteworthy discovery has been unearthed while searching through the computer banks.
Oh,
Here's
they're
the
looking for
last
shit.
few hours.
Okay. Hey, Flashman, what is up? What is up, man? I don't really know. I don't know, man. Yeah, mental health is kind of a mental health will drive you mad. All I could say is that, they say it gets better. And I think it does. Not much playing Trials of Maba? What Trials of Maba? I don't know what that is. Trials of Maba. Oh, Trials of Mana. Oh, okay. Trials of Mana. Yeah, I remember the Mana series. I played that when I was back in the day. Back in the days of the Super Nintendo. You know. Ah. In the days of the Super Nintendo, when I was a kid and you wendo. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of a good rhyme with Nintendo.
No police force on Earth has reported arresting anyone in the process of an active crime. Still, they've got quotas, so they've begun, or continued, to commit crimes themselves. Actually, Reed has an explanation. He's able to detect the energy of cosmic cubes, and in this case, he's detecting them on a telepathic level. He believes all the heroes were mesmerized into aiding their own kidnappings, and that the transmissions are affecting criminals on Earth as well. In the tie-ins, Reed found out about the goddess, but only her appearance and that she had the cosmic cubes, so he doesn't know anything more about her. And honestly, I think it was a mistake to reveal this early that the goddess has a bit of mind control in her powers. It paints her as a villain.
Couch in the cradle and the silver spoon, man moon. Yeah. I remember they played that a lot in religious schools, and I was just like, oh, fuck off. Make an onigiri and chill. Ooh, that sounds nice. That does sound nice. God, religious school. Nothing religious about it. Just a bunch of bullshit. We've got to protect people from evil secularism.
Right away, instead of suggesting that indeed she is just this holy and good that she can inspire.
Oh no! If we become a secular society, we'll all go to prison because we're Christians. Won't someone please think of the Christians? Don't look at me, man. I don't give a shit.
People to follow her. Anyway, we cut over to the goddess as she explains that her mere presence is causing this area of space to be peaceful and tranquil. I am the goddess of mellowing out. She's not powerful enough to bring this about throughout the entire universe, though, and that's why she needs the help of the heroes. Willpower can do the task, particularly of true believers in the cause. She's taken the 30 cosmic cubes and reshaped them into a giant cosmic egg, through which they can amplify their wills together. There are certain dreams no one entity should force upon reality. Like that dream where I go to school naked and everyone throws blueberries at me. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But billions of believers can alter the heavens. In other words, let me explain my Kickstarter campaign. The Silver Surfer asks why the Cosmic Cubes and not the Infinity Gems, since apparently despite what the Hostess Fruit Pie ad implied, the Cosmic Cubes are not all-powerful, so they cannot, in fact, do anything. I don't know, man. The Fruit Pie ads have never steered us wrong before. I mean, are you saying that there isn't a giant flea market-eating flea? Are we supposed to put our faith in AAU Superstar instead? Anyway, she explains that at the end of the Infinity War, the Living Tribunal disabled the gems' ability to work in unison, so now the Cosmic Egg is the most powerful tool in this reality. Susan Storm wonders if this means that cosmic beings like Eternity will try to stop them, but the goddess says, yeah, they don't really care since nothing of what we're doing is actually going to affect them. As such, she enters the Cosmic Egg. From within the Cosmic Egg, I will contact and awaken the Holy Spirit in every enlightened being in the heavens. For everyone else, a coupon for a rental Holy Spirit. Her job is going to require her complete strength and attention, so she tasks the superheroes to protect her while she does so. Moondragon becomes her main prophet and second in command. And wow, we joke about a lot of high collars in comics, but Moondragon extends past her head. And her outfit is basically a thin bikini and a cape, so it's not like it was some integral component that pulled it all together. Back on Earth, all armed conflicts have come to a stop too. No formal ceasefire, it's just everyone's stopped. Aurora, a member of Alpha Flight, apparently has dissociative identity disorder, and one of the two identities is deeply religious, so when she comes forward, she suddenly wants to go join the goddess. They prep a Quinjet and decide to let her go. Iron Man, Vision, and Mr. Fantastic coming along to discover where the goddess is headquartered. Before they leave, though, we get a moment between Johnny Storm and the Thing where they talk about their own religious beliefs. Both are Christian, but they wonder why they weren't taken. Johnny wondering if he really does believe in God if he wasn't taken, with the Thing recounting how once he was pissed at God for ignoring his prayer as an 8-year-old to save his aunt from dying of cancer. Moments like these probably should be more relegated to the tie-ins, but it's nice to have them here. A good way to show, hey, we don't have to say all these characters
That's
are
Infinity
atheists,
Crusade.
and
This is like the
because
third
they oppose
Infinity
this woman,
thing.
and the religious ones aren't just brainwashed idiots for following her. Then again, it often feels like Jim Starlin has a bug up his butt about false gods, false idols, people blindly following beings they assume are godlike, etc. I spotted it a few times in his work. And hey, as a Christian myself, I'm all for calling out assholes who use religion or preach religion in order to maintain their asshole behavior. Just feels like it's a theme that he really seems passionate about. Aurora flies the Quinjet out into space, and they try to transmit their telemetry back to Earth just in case they don't return
my
from
neck.
this little jaunt. And indeed, they locate Paradise Omega, guarded not only by the Silver Surfer and Firelord, but also several orbiting defensive satellites and an energy shield around the planet that could atomize anything that approaches. God put an angel with a fiery sword to guard the Garden of Eden. The goddess put in space-based weapons platforms and force fields. Also, there's no connection between them, but man, do these things look like Borg spheres.
Well, it looks like
Storm was on one of
Cybertron
the
to me.
satellites and expresses how she's sad that she might have to oppose Reed in this whole thing, though she's reassured that once this is completed, everyone will be reunited. Still, she ain't happy, and once again, some very human moments that make me wish that we hadn't already...
What is with that expression on that one woman's face? Duh.
That this is mind control. After they land, our three heroes are given a warning by the goddess that she's working on, you know, saving the universe, so don't interfere, and to warn the rest of the Earth not to do so either. Reed questions why she feels the need to mind control then, but Moondragon denies that's happening, that since she has the mind gem, she would be able to detect any such telepathic fields. Reed also counters, okay, you've got three geniuses here, if you're really about doing the will of God, why don't you let us help you? However, the goddess says that she can detect duplicity in his words, that they would sabotage their efforts at the first opportunity. She's got a point, the three are already pretty skeptical of this whole thing and would probably try to slow down their efforts to try to investigate and uncover a nefarious scheme and everything.
Hey,
As
Jackson.
paradoxical as it sounds, doubt can make someone's faith stronger, and you don't want blind loyalty in a task as sensitive and important as this. She declares that no one without a pure heart and soul will be allowed to set foot on Paradise Omega, which makes me wonder what will happen to Aurora when her other personality comes forward. Is the goddess just going to eject her for a while? The three are returned to the Quinjet and all teleported back over Earth orbit, their data wiped about the location of Paradise Omega. Same for the signal they had attempted to send back. Reed is now completely convinced that their friends have been fully mind-controlled, though Iron Man wonders why the goddess doesn't just do that to everyone then, especially since we've already seen her influence over people on Earth. Reed briefs the rest of the heroes on what happened and says they're going to make
yeah, we're all old now. We all got cricks in our necks and
Professor Xavier
backs
is on
and shit
hand
like that.
That even with the mind control, it's possible that she might be telling the truth about making the universe better, and they shouldn't necessarily be close-minded about it. Which is also why I wish, if they had to reveal the mind control this early, suggest that it's involuntary on the goddess's part. Just something that naturally happens around her, and she doesn't even realize she's doing it. It makes her look complicit in something very evil for a figure who thinks they're doing good. Of course, Xavier isn't blind to the potential issues here and the fact that she's playing with powerful forces and she hasn't really made a sales pitch on what this version of the universe is going to look like on the other side of it. Adam Warlock, meanwhile, is engaged in tie-in issue stuff, the purple hand being from that, and is trying to rescue the holder of the reality gem. But enough of that scene, back to the actual plot. The science squad heads to the moon to visit Uatu the Watcher, hoping he might give them some info on the goddess. Speaking of
you're just listening to the morning stream?
The egg into the depths of
we got a little metaphysical up in that, talking a lot about balance and Baphomet and solving coagulae and my issues with the way Western intellectualism puts analysis as like the highest expression, which I disagree with. I agree that it's very important, extremely important, but I don't like the tendency people have of putting it above other forms of intellect. I don't think I don't think that that's good. I think that leads us to this kind of false belief that thinking about something is the same as solving a problem. Like we have to have the discussion, and I'm like, yes, but why does it stop there? And while I believe in voting, I don't believe that that's the solution to all social ills. I guess in a very broad sense, I would say that education is the solution, but most people think of education as this very like discrete thing that happens when you are a child. I don't think that that's right either. I think that something more fundamental also needs to change, like the way we think about intellect and the way we think about learning. One of the things that I don't like about the education system is it tends to discourage learning. It discourages learning about anything except like what is right in front of you. And I don't think that is always the right track. Not even touching on the idea that like history is really is cultural indoctrination, as opposed to something like math, which is its own, which is best learned as its own thing. Yeah, talking about something is part of this, is the start of finding a solution. It's not necessarily the solution itself. And I think one of the big issues that we have is that sometimes problems have no solutions. I wish I had another way of saying this, but there are some problems that basically come down to that's God's problem. That's a problem for the gods. That's a problem for fate. That's a problem for the ineffable whatever of the universe. I don't know that there is a plan. I severely doubt it, actually. I don't think there is any sort of cosmic plan, but I think that there is a cosmic pattern. I don't know how much of a plan it is. But I think talking is in pursuit of a solution is essentially analysis, which is, like I said, is great, but it's not exactly the same as problem solving, especially when you're dealing with so many people. I think humanity gets locked into certain patterns of thinking. And that's where a lot of our problems, where the problem comes in. But the fact that our mind gets locked into certain minds of thinking seems to also be inevitable. So I'm not sure what the solution there is. So I'm like, well, that's God's problem. I don't know what else to do. Yeah, there's not always a solution. There's not always a good solution. Sometimes there's not a solution, let alone a good one. Yeah. You learn more in college than you will in high school. I don't even see us living in a world of shades of gray. I see us as living in a world of color. And whoa, hi, hi, doggy. Hold on, he's doing it. Would you? Hi. Hey. Would you? What are you doing? What? Are you done? No, not yet. Come here. Come here. Okay, just lay there. He tired himself out. Now he's biting his own butt. Oh, come here. Are you okay? Come here. Nope. He's putting a scent all over the bed. He has the zoomies. Yeah, he does. He does, as a matter of fact, have the zoomies.
The planet to begin to burn out evil across the cosmos, ending issue 2. The Watcher can't directly
Hey, cute little cat
interfere,
girl, doing
of course, but
okay.
he's happy to let the three observe while he works. Noting a planet where the Shi'ar and Skrulls were engaged in combat, that quickly ends when the goddess's good vibe waves or whatever arrive. Iron Man wonders why they haven't been affected by her. After all, he's pretty gung-ho about shooting her right now. Vision speculates that it's because the psychic transmissions she's sending out are long-range in nature. Earth may be close enough to feel some effects, but not the full brunt of it. Thus the physical defenses around the planet itself. Okay, so we sneak in by pretending to be a pizza delivery Quinjet. They try to question the Watcher about the goddess's intentions and whether they should intervene, but he just teleports them back to Avengers HQ. Privately, the Watcher does say that there's some dire peril with the goddess's intentions. Meanwhile, we see that Doctor Strange is using his sorcery to spy on our heroes. Moondragon warns the goddess that her enemies are still conspiring against her, and she tells Moondragon to deal with them appropriately while she expands her sphere of influence. This could have also been a good point for the series, make it be less the goddess's intention that her followers are belligerent, but that mortal minds are misinterpreting her goals and thus acting way over the top about it. Kind of a parallel to real-life figures who think they're following their religion in a strict sense, but in reality are just doing more harm. At Avengers HQ, there's still more speculation and debate about the goddess's intentions, since regardless of the method, peace is spreading throughout the universe, exemplified by the supervillain Absorbing Man showing up at the HQ to surrender peacefully. And thus we reach the final big debate in our gathering. I'm reluctant to automatically brand her a peril just because she's using techniques we don't agree with. The results the goddess is achieving far exceed any success we ever enjoyed using our current methods of operation. Having Xavier be the one saying this is simultaneously a logical choice and a supremely idiotic choice, lest we forget that his arch-nemesis, Magneto, is a terrorist whom he denounces as a peril because of his techniques. But even if she is a force for good, how can we be sure that good is truly in the best interest of the universe?
There is
Logic in what he says.
Beast, that is an incredibly stupid thing you just said. Pip the Troll pipes up to inform everyone that the goddess is likely good, seeing as she's Adam Warlock's good side, something they didn't know until now. Back over to Adam Warlock, he's dealt with matters in his tie-in issues and has rescued the protector of the reality gem, Thanos. As a reminder, Thanos became more or less an anti-hero post-Infinity Gauntlet. Not really a good guy, but not seeking to end everything in order to score a date with death. He and Warlock are working on a way to fight the goddess, Thanos thinking only they can pull it off. But who should come and knock in to offer his services than the devil himself? Mephisto arrives in a more monstrous appearance, one they use for the cover even though it's only for this one panel, before assuming the more regular appearance. He wants to team up with the two to take on the goddess. If Dark Mephisto stands ready to defy the will of the goddess, perhaps I must rethink my position on her. He's not wrong. It doesn't say much for your side being right if you have to say, it's okay guys, we teamed up with Satan. When has he ever steered us wrong? Thanos and Mephisto point out that her goal is to eradicate evil, which is just the flip side of the coin of good, meaning for all her intentions, she's likely just going to eradicate good with evil, meaning people would just be empty shells lacking in spirit. Warlock points out that he manages without it, but Thanos reminds him that the goddess is just a facet of him. So how would he go about eliminating all evil if he had limitless power? Back at the Avengers HQ, Reed makes his final case for going against the goddess. Her intentions are irrelevant because if they don't oppose her, they're in effect surrendering the universe's free will. They need to vote on whether to oppose her. Xavier agrees, but asks to try to contact Moondragon with his own telepathy to hopefully agree on the reason for this whole thing, as opposed to immediately going to war. And thus he makes the attempt, and yeah, it's here where we really see Moondragon has become more like a zealot than anything else, calling Xavier an infidel and suggesting that any
Infidel!
the goddess is sacrilegious on its face. Thus, she violently forces Xavier back. Like I keep saying, I think it'd be more interesting and a more allegorical take if Moondragon was more the villain of the piece, violently misinterpreting the goddess's wishes, so much so that even when the goddess tries to calm her down, she'll reject even the person she supposedly worships because her version of it is what she thinks is correct. In any case, Warlock asks Mephisto why exactly they need his help with anything. He says that he knows and understands the cosmic cubes under her control better than anyone, and consequently how to undermine her plans with them. Back over to the heroes, Xavier was injured from the telepathic backlash, but this has solidified the opinions of the others that they should oppose the goddess. As they prepare a couple of special Quinjets for their operation, Pip the Troll asks Vision about the cosmic cubes and how they work. And it seems that because of the tie-in stuff, he's pissed off about how everyone has treated him, and thus he has plans of his own. Warlock contacts him using the Soul Gem, and he fills Warlock in on what happened on their end. They agree to Mephisto's help, but Mephisto has his own price for his assistance. He wants one of the cosmic cubes when this is all over. The heroes devise a plan to disable the cosmic cube thanks to what rituals observed, but because Moondragon and company have been
I'll be right back. I'm gonna
they're
get
able to
myself
warn the
some
goddess
coffee. I
about
think I
this
need it.
plan in advance. Reed gives the heroes a pep talk about how they're going to need to fight their friends friends and loved ones on this, which sucks, but they have to be ready for it. And the ones under the goddess's control are equally preparing for the fight ahead. -1. The Silver Surfer suddenly resists the command by Moondragon for a preemptive attack on the heroes, and she calls him a blasphemer. Perhaps it was Galactus's past tampering with my soul, or maybe the power cosmic, or perhaps just my own strength of will which did it, but the spell is broken! I am no longer the thrall to the goddess's manipulations. The Silver Surfer is once again his own man, and I shall T-pose to assert my manhood! But Firelord was also nearby and blasts him. Meanwhile, Pip the Troll decides to go make things worse. He can teleport to any place he knows the location of, and since he has minor telepathic abilities and touched Xavier during his communication with Moondragon, he was able to suss out the goddess's location and teleports to the Cosmic Egg, grabbing hold of it and somehow taking control of the Cosmic Cubes that make it up by touching them, using his abilities to turn the goddess to salt to end issue 3. Whatever she was up to just got filed in the could have been folder, and Pip the Troll just became king of the universe!
The universe is not so badly designed.
Ah, well, I wouldn't worry about that anyway. It gets taken care of in a tie-in. Don't you love when major cliffhangers for your big crossover get settled in other books and not the one you're following? I mean, Secret Wars 2 certainly did this, but this one's been pretty good about it otherwise. Thanos teleports the Silver Surfer to his base to talk with him, revealing that he now possesses the Soul Gem, given to him by Adam Warlock in a tie-in. The goddess, meanwhile, contacts her forces to inform them of Pip's failed revolution, and gives her the go-ahead to stop the heroes from disrupting her plans. They teleport to Earth to confront them, but apparently they cut off their observations a bit prematurely, since the heroes have already left. Thanos explains to the Surfer that Warlock has a plan to stop the goddess, but he's going into the Soul World to do it. Thus he gave Thanos the gem for safekeeping and made him privy to those plans. Thanos, meanwhile, wants to recruit the Surfer to join in their efforts to stop the goddess, though he's reluctant to team up with someone like him. While Adam begins his journey to find a particular individual in the Soul World, the heroes begin their approach on Paradise Omega, worried that it'll be hard to avoid casualties in a fight like this. Thanos and the Surfer contact them, though, to offer help. The heroes are going to serve as a distraction. If the goddess became aware of Thanos' involvement, she may use the combined power of her cosmic cubes in a more direct fashion and, well, we already know how dangerous they are. Thanos also requires Xavier's help, though they explain he's in a coma after his contact with Moondragon. Thanos says that doesn't matter, soon teleporting him out of the Avengers HQ. That headset you place on the Professor will allow me to personally exploit his telepathic powers. Plus, I think he just needs something to wear. Enough with the plain bald look, Xavier. Get a hat or something for a proper superhero look. The Surfer gets in position for his part, while Thanos waits for something to be delivered for his part of the plan. Said delivery is Dreadnought 666, a warship that he made ages ago when he thought he could conquer the universe with force of arms. I don't know, man. I think he gave up on the Thanos copter too soon. The Surfer begins the distraction, absorbing a massive amount of solar energy from the sun and causing solar flares to erupt. Said solar flares block out the scanning equipment of the goddess's forces, then have them fly directly at Paradise Omega. Mind you, just for maximum silliness, the Surfer is kind of out of control after absorbing so much energy, so both Drax and the Hulk have to punch him so he goes in the right direction. He impacts with a moon orbiting Paradise Omega, annihilating it and creating a massive asteroid field that also blasts some of the defense satellites. The heroes fly through it,
They
only
come
be
up
met
to
by
me
Thor,
and
who
they're
smashes
like,
the Quinjets. Drax and the Hulk are able to fend him off while our heroes get to escape pods to land the rest of the way. Thanos requests one pod stay in orbit to act as a relay for his sensors for his part of the plan. In the Soul World, Adam Warlock finally finds the one he's looking for. The Magus. And that's just for a tie-in and doesn't actually contribute to the plot, even though they could have used that later on in the story. While the two opposing groups of heroes begin their fights, Thanos arrives in orbit too. All the players are in place. The end game begins. Have all factors been properly considered? Will the outcome be as predicted? Or do we stand on the edge of Armageddon? Download the Infinity Crusade app and vote on the answers to these questions. We begin issue 5 with the Hulk falling into the atmosphere of Paradise Omega and battles beginning on the planet between various heroes. In a surprising turn of events, Beast and Iceman are able to take down Scarlet Witch and Captain America. Like I've said before, in a versus battle, all that matters is if it's convincing, Not if a character has no chance because it comes down to how the writer achieves the goal, but I don't know. Beast just one-punches Wanda in the gut, and while Cap puts up a better fight, he gets knocked out by a hard hit of ice to the back of the head. Admittedly, ice putting Captain America to sleep is consistent, I guess. They also write Cap to be pretty bloodthirsty, ready to kill Beast, and echoing Moondragon's "Infidels! Blasphemers!" fire and brimstone talk, which feels off when most of the characters we've seen have been themselves just devoted more to the goddess's cause. Anyway, Warlock gets transported out of the Soul World as the battles on Paradise Omega continue, both sides losing people as they converge on a rendezvous point. The goddess begins synchronizing with the blessed souls
Hey, how you doing?
uniting their minds and wills together to direct them to eliminate evil via the cosmic egg. Thanos uses the Dreadnought's massive weapon systems to carve a hole down into the planet and give him a clear line to the goddess, though feedback destroys the ship.
God.
He and Xavier beam down and begin their plan, using the Soul Gem to try to get to her, but they can't in time. The goddess begins her plan of eradicating evil throughout the universe by blowing up stars, ending issue 5. Oh crap, now when Christmas rolls around, we'll be singing a star, exploding in the night. Yeah, as you may have noticed, not much to talk about with issue 5. It's mostly made up of fight scenes. Decent fight scenes, especially for a hero versus hero event, but not much in the way of plot advancement until the end. So let's get to that ending. The final issue of The Infinity Crusade. Soul, a beautiful gem set among 10 smaller companion jewels, flaring brilliantly in the midst of the dark heavens. And it can be yours for $39.99 plus shipping and handling. Yeah, the sun goes supernova, and soon Paradise Omega is engulfed in destructive fire, killing everything on it. In a sequence that I'm betting was inspired by Terminator 2's apocalyptic nightmare sequence. For those not yet ready to meet their maker, the bewilderment remains. For those who were ready to meet their maker, a sudden realization of something forgotten for their luggage. Nor is any escape to be found in fantasy and entertainment. Fiery reality insinuates itself into the most preoccupied of souls. And see, this is why it's good I don't have a physical copy of the second trade of this
I'm
event.
sorry about your
But yeah,
dog.
the planet burns and goes boom. Same for every other planet in the universe. And so ends the universe. Video essays deconstructing the disappointing finale flood YouTube. The goddess proclaims that her first step is complete. All of reality is now a place of righteousness with no
They were
evil
even
existing
found
in
with
it
child
whatsoever.
porn? Oh my
Now
god,
she has to do
of
that to
course.
all other realities in the multiverse. And then the goddess realizes that none of that actually happened. Reports of the demise of this universe have been greatly exaggerated. I mean, that comic book still lit on fire, but yeah, all the people in the universe suddenly open their eyes and they're not dead. The goddess's forces, the heroes opposing her, those influenced by her, they're all okay and contemplating what just happened. Some will be forever changed by this impossible moment, while others will glance about their unchanged surroundings and convince themselves it was naught but imagination run wild, a mere fantasy, and then realize they were reading Marvel and want to return to the universal death fantasy. This wasn't Thanos' doing, but Adam Warlock's. He emerges and explains that he was hiding in the goddess's subconscious. He realized that Thanos wouldn't breach her defenses in time, but since he was a part of the goddess's being and in contact with the cosmic egg, he could send that illusion out to the universe before she finalized the whole thing. It was so close that the goddess thought that she had done the real deal. The goddess thinks this doesn't really change anything. She still has the cosmic egg. Except, as Warlock points out, now everybody knows that her entire plan was to kill everyone and everything, so they're not exactly going to be contributing the collective willpower she needed for this. We now go live to Moondragon and her reaction to this revelation. The goddess thinks she could still pull this off, it'll just take longer, but of course Thanos and Warlock aren't going to let that happen. She tries to blast Warlock, but the egg can't affect a soul, which is all that he is right now in this form. She emerges out of the armored body she had crafted for this to try to counterattack, and she's empowered by the egg this way, but that's where Thanos and Professor X come in. In this state, she's vulnerable to Xavier's psychic power and the Soul Gem. She retreats back into her physical body, but once more, she's thwarted. Warlock was able to sync himself up to the cosmic egg while she was absent from her body, so he has its power now. Using the Soul Gem, the two are absorbed back into it, and Warlock returned to his body. With the little time they have, Thanos uses the cosmic egg to return all the heroes to Earth, takes out a cosmic cube from Mephisto and sets the egg itself, and consequently Paradise Omega, to self-destruct in 10 minutes, giving him time to leave. Warlock reclaims the soul gem, and the heroes gather at Avengers HQ to try to figure out what just happened. It's over, Nick. As to how, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know, maybe it got explained in a tie-in. Warlock asks Thanos why he didn't try to keep the cosmic egg for himself, and he admits it's because the thing was too much of a nuisance. And it was imperfect. After all, the Infinity Gauntlet did grant him omnipotence, and the cosmic egg fell short of that. Warlock goes to the heroes, who are all pissed at him because of how the goddess was an aspect of him, and feel he's partly responsible for all this, so he takes the Infinity Watch and they teleport away. The gathered heroes had just suffered through quite a harrowing and, to them, incomprehensible experience, the outcome of which all their heroic efforts had very little effect on. 3 Infinity events, and only I, the golden douchebag, am allowed to resolve things. But yeah, he doesn't blame them for being mad given everything that's happened. We get our epilogue. It seems most of the people in the universe don't recall what happened, the vision of the universal destruction written off as if it was a daydream or hallucination. The heroes who were under the goddess's thrall are feeling more than a little embarrassed and violated by what occurred, but as Wolverine points out to Storm, the goddess was the bad guy here, not the ones she tricked. And as I suggested, Moondragon herself feels pretty bad about it, since she strives to be a good person and was able to be so easily turned into a tyrant. Well, maybe you wouldn't look the part at least if your collar wasn't so frickin' huge. While
So
Adam
this story
Warlock
is
retreats to
pointless.
brood and contemplate
Yeah.
two aspects are back inside of him, we see that the goddess has the same fate as the Magus, a spirit inside the soul gem, unable to interact with any of the other spirits within, save for the Magus. Well, interact is all she can do. Talk to him. They're still incorporeal to the other. And unfortunately, back on Earth, we see that things have returned to normal. Violent criminals and warfare have resumed. And so our comic ends with Mephisto showing up to claim the cosmic cube promised to him. Thanos hands it over to Mephisto's glee, and it does nothing. I fulfilled my part of our arrangement by delivering to you an actual cosmic cube. You never specified that you desired a functioning unit. You'd think the devil of all people would learn to read the fine print. Mephisto leaves, promising vengeance, but Thanos just pontificates to himself. Prophets and devils constantly make promises, but in the end, their words always prove empty. For salvation, whatever that may be, will not be found amidst the external. It awaits within, which is why Thanos of Titan will never depend on any but himself and his inner darkness. Thanos proceeded to drunk-dial death later that night, begging her to take him back. This comic is okay for the most part. It's another case of a story that could have been great because the premise works and the overall plot points are solid, but the fine details mean that it doesn't really excel as much as it should. As I stated throughout, the big issue is that they give away that the goddess should be opposed almost immediately. After all, if the goddess was controlling people from the start, why even bother with appearing in front of people to talk to them? Why not just summon them and go from there? She clearly had
That's
no
why
moral
Deadpool
objections
cooked
about
you.
it,
I
especially
know,
since her
right?
ultimate goal was to destroy everything as a way of purging evil from the universe. Consequently, while that revelation is strong, I think it would have worked better if the mind control was more a subtle influence and she was completely open about her goals. Maybe state, yeah, I'm going to destroy everything, but that's only in order to purge the evil, and then I'll bring you all back. She'd genuinely not see anything wrong or objectionable about it, and assume others would feel the same. I also appreciate that the Marvel Universe's superheroes had a bigger role in this one than in the last two. Adam Warlock spends much of the story sidelined, and while he comes in at the end to resolve things, the other heroes don't consequently feel like guest stars in their own crossover. The goddess recruiting so many heroes to be on her side ensures that they're a part of events, even if by the end it once again turns into the Warlock and Thanos show. It's been a problem with all 3 stories in the Infinity Saga, but this one less so than the others. This event also has a lot of pretty visuals to it, not just the goddess, but the destruction of the universe has never looked so well rendered. It's not as good as it could have been, especially on its themes of faith, but overall, it's a better story than some we've looked at over the years. Next time, it's over to DC to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Crisis on Infinite Earths, with a story that's not really connected to it, and doesn't really feature the DC heroes, kinda, sorta. Next time, it's Convergence.
Boo! I scared the kitty. Sorry about that. sorry I scared the kitty. Well, man. What? Didn't mean to scare the cat. I feel a little bit bad about that. Not too bad. I mean, you know, cats get scared. However, I do think that, yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be a little bit of a short one. Me and Guru are got to get ready to record the vlogs. We're going to be recording Deathstalker. We're going to be talking about Deathstalker this time. Excuse me. Hopefully going to get that out because we watched that. And you'll get to know all our opinions on that shit. Excuse me. You know, get to know our opinions on that fucking movie. And I'll see you next time. Which there should be a stream tomorrow unless something happens. You know, but there won't be one for Thursday or Friday. You know, holidays and everything. So, I'll see y'all later. Pyong! Till next time, obviously, it's Disco Inferno. Satan and I love y'all very much.